Hey everyone, welcome back to part 3 of my series From the Store to Your Door. Today I am going over intake. What happens when I get home from the thrift store with all of my goodies and actually walk through the door? What do I do to get ready to get my items in the best shape they can be in to be sold and make me some cashola? Stick around and see my process. Hi my friends, and welcome back to Lori's Boston Found, where thrifted is the new black. My name is Lori. I am a full-time reseller on Poshmark and eBay. Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community that offers membership with meaning, with so much to explore, real projects to create, and the support of fellow creatives. Skillshare empowers you to accomplish real growth. Skillshare offers classes designed for real life so you can move your creative journey forward without putting life on hold. You can learn and grow with short classes that fit your busy routine. Skillshare is also incredibly affordable, especially when compared to pricey in-person classes and workshops, and an annual subscription is less than $10 a month. Click the link in the description below to get 2 free months of premium membership and explore your creativity. I'll chat a little bit more about Skillshare later in my video. I am very excited because I am doing a series, and this is part 3 of my series From the Store to Your Door. So I resell clothing full-time online, and I acquire most of my inventory from thrift stores. And so I started this series in an effort to show you my full process, which would take a long time. So I decided to break it down into 5 different videos. So the first 2 videos were me thrifting in the first video and then showing a haul. My second video was a ginormous haul because I've been thrifting a ton. In those videos, I go over key sourcing strategies, and I shared with you things I look for, boxes that I like to check before making a purchase, such as what does the item cost? What is the condition of the item? Is it in style? Is it a good brand? Will it sell for a decent amount of money? If you're interested in watching those videos, I will link the first one up here, and then you can find your way to the second one as well. But this is part 3 in the series. I haven't really showed you my process from this phase. So in this step in the process, I am going to share with you my 5 steps for intake. What I do from the time I get out of my car until the time my items are ready to be photographed. And there is some overlap in every step, such as running comps. I'm oftentimes running comps at the thrift store, and then I get home, I dive a little bit deeper, and then even when I'm photographing, I might still be looking at comps. So there is overlap in all of the steps, but today I'm gonna focus just on my process for intake. So let's get started. So you'll see me talk a little bit about this throughout the video, but the first thing I do is remove the tags. Nothing earth-shattering, but I come through the door and I just kind of start examining my things. Now there is an exception because Savers and Goodwill allows for returns. So I don't remove the tags if I've gone shopping at Savers or Goodwill until I start photographing. But from stores that I bought from today, there is a no return policy. So there's no sense in keeping the tags on. So I automatically start removing the tags and I start looking for flaws, maybe to note, look at things that I can clean up or things like that. So that is my very first step. My second step is to enter all of the items into my spreadsheet. Now I've graduated from a notebook to a very basic spreadsheet, and I actually use 1 sheet per trip to the store. And I think this is kind of unconventional. And I just want to preface this by saying my spreadsheet system is primitive at best. So if you like high-level spreadsheets and you're a super analytical person, I'm not sure that my model is going to be the best for you, but there are definitely people out there who excel, no pun intended, at spreadsheets, and I'm not that person. But anyways, I will include things like the size, the description, the category that it goes into, and then there's also a spot on my spreadsheet for measurements, but I don't touch that area until I go to photographs, and I'll explain that in my next video. While I'm entering things in my spreadsheet, I'm actually already starting to research. I might start taking screenshots of items on my computer as I'm entering things into my spreadsheet. I may start running comps, looking at sold items a little bit more in depth than I did when I was at the store. Just to get started here, and also to give a little bit of a disclaimer, I would say that my spreadsheets and my inventory are two of the weakest links in my system. They're things I am moving towards a better place with. So I didn't even use a spreadsheet for the first year and a half of my business. I used to write everything down in a notebook, and so I've basically taken one step in this direction. If you are a type A personality, you probably are not going to like my spreadsheet system. But anyways, this is the spreadsheet that I developed. And it's very simple. So these are the things that I record. I'm going to put the date in here, 7/16/20. And the store, my little honey hole. And today I spent, and I haven't counted everything yet, so I'm not sure what my average cost of goods are. So let's just start entering things. So the first thing that I'm going to start with are shoes that I purchased. And while I'm adding things, I'm going to try to split the screen and show you what I'm actually working on. So the first item that I'm going to list are a pair of Madewell shoes that I picked up. And I'm looking right now for the size. So actually, first up, I'm looking and I see that the style number is F604. So I'm going to write that over here in my notes, F604. Did I get that right? I'm going to double check. This is also where a lot of my research starts. It's actually F1604. And these are like slip-on, sandal-y, like suede. So I'm going to, in my item description, I always start with the brand. So Madewell suede slip-on sandals, flats. And over here under category, we're going to do shoes. I'm still looking for the size right now. This step can actually take a fair amount of time. Okay, so this is a size 8. All right, and that's all I'm going to do for right now. As soon as I get everything listed in here, my next step will be to actually look up this style number and see like what the comps are. Sometimes I do that right in the store. And a little pro tip is when I'm in the store and I look up comps on something, if the comps are great and it's an item that I'm going to purchase, I will take screenshots right in the store so that when I go back later, I either already have a stock photo to use or I have, I'll take a screenshot of the website description of an item. I didn't do that for these shoes. So I'm just going to move on to the next item that I'm going to list. So obviously for this, there's no chest measurement, there's no length or rise, there's no inseam. So when it comes to shoes, I can write whatever I want in this section. Sometimes I'll give more descriptive words. Move on to the next item. I bought these interesting like metallic-y yellow Cole Haan driving shoes. And something is a driving shoe when they have the traction that goes up the heel for when you're driving. Okay, so these are a size 8B. So B is like a medium width. So sometimes you'll see 8M or you'll see 8B. I'm going to say Cole Haan metallic yellow driving loafers. Oftentimes, like here I put flats, then I wrote loafers. For my own sake, I don't need to write shoes again over here. I know that a loafer is shoes. So I won't always include that there. And again, over here, I'm just going to do a quick D40724. D40724. So I will just include this over here so that I can look back on these when I'm starting my research. And then I'll do a few more. So typically I would like to do all my shoes first. So let's do a pair of Jack Rogers. I don't always categorize my spreadsheets, but it makes it easy for reference when I look back. So I got like the classic Jack Rogers white sandals. And these are an 8. See, now these say 8 medium, tab over Jack Rogers USA white leather sandals. And these are like their classic look. Shoes. I like to keep wipies nearby during intake so I can do minor repairs. So I'm trying to get those toe marks out of here. And I, had to use a little elbow grease, but it did even the color out a little bit more and they look much better and, saves me time right before I decide to photograph. I did actually get a pair of Tory Burch that I paid up for at the register. Let me see if I can find a size on these. Tory Burch. These are camel colored and they're wedge but not espadrille. Camel leather wedge sandals. Again, redundant to write shoes, but hey, what the heck. I'm gonna see if there's a style number in here. I got a pair of Lacoste, which is not a brand that I always pick up, but these were new with tag. They have a clearance tag on them for $19.99, a big orange clearance tag, which I carefully pull off the pants as I'm processing. And I leave, of course, the price tag that says $185. So I see here on the tag that it says bourbon, 100% cotton. I don't know if that's a style, but I'm going to write that. And these are a size 6. Oh, I wanted to do it a little further down to leave room for my shoes. So I'm going to write size 6, Lacoste, new with tag, bourbon. That's probably a style name, but I'll check back on those. Khakis. These are pants. And they're also women's, which I would mostly just write if they were a men's pair of pants, because 95% of the stuff I buy is women's. I also want to say that on their tag, they are size 38 is the tech, and then they give the US version. So I would include both sizes in my listing, but I would probably list it under the 6 size when I go to do the listing. So some people will write in individual costs for items. Other people will record average cost of goods. It really depends on you and how you want to do your bookkeeping. I vary the way that I track things, which is probably also gonna really drive type A people crazy. So a time when I would want to record individual prices rather than an average cost of goods is in an instance where I have 1 or 2 items that I'm paying up for. Like, for example, the Tory Burch shoes were $20 at the register. I would want to note that in my listing as opposed to giving an average cost of goods for my own record, so that when I do sell those, I will know if my profit margin was worth it at a $20 price point. As long as I have a number attached to it, which I do in my Poshmark listing in the notes section, which we'll go over in the next video. But I continue to do this system all the way for a particular shopping trip. And then once this is filled out, I will print it, and then I go to my next step. And in a lot of cases, as I'm entering stuff in the computer, I'll start creating drafts. So I want to start researching these shoes that I picked up. I found these to be very interesting. I got these at my second location today, and it took me a while to read what was inside the shoe. At first I thought they said made, so I was searching M-A-D. Then I looked closer and it looked like a number 4. So it was M4D with a backwards E. So I started looking for those. M4DE. Then I started researching and realized that that E that looks like a backwards E is actually a 3. So when I Google searched that, these shoes came up on Free People. So I was kind of excited. These were $12 and 30% off. But when I ended up getting 41 items today. I spent $165 between both stores. So my average cost of goods was $4. So that's what we're going with. I got a lot of $1 items at the second location, a lot of which I'm going to send to the RealReal and ThredUp. But overall, I'm going to sell these on my own. So here we go. These are the actual sneakers that I'm looking for. These are the ones that I'm selling. So I can take a screenshot of these sneakers, which is what I will often do when I'm researching, to, use as a stock photo. And then I will start my drafts here before I even start taking pictures. This is a little less consistent because I'm not able to get stock photos on everything. I don't spend the time researching every item, but this is where the process begins. After I do the intake and get everything in my spreadsheet, then I start doing a little bit of research. So I think I'm supposed to look there, but I'm not sure. Okay, so I don't even know if I can do a screenshot while I'm doing this recording, but I do Shift, Command, and 4 on a Mac. And then I am just going to capture this. Bam. And then it shows up over here. So now I'm going to do another one. Shift Command 4 is the shortcut. And because I'm doing square photos, I usually give myself a little bit extra room so I can crop. But that's that. And then I'm curious what they say about it. Read full description. Free People MADGE sneaker in black leather with pony hair detail. And then by M4D3. Oh, so maybe the MADG is just the name of the sneaker. It's not the name of the brand. That makes sense. Brand new in original box, laceless sneakers featuring contrast rebel. So maybe right here, what I'll do is I will take some of these keywords and I will start a draft for Poshmark. So this is how I start my drafts. Okay, so I'm going to go to sell here. These are drafts that I've already started. And what's fantastic about Poshmark now is I can do 50 drafts, which honestly has been such a game changer for me. So these are drafts, so I don't want to go to draft. Upload photos. So this is the create listing. So I'm going to go to upload photos. Now I am going to click the 2 screenshots that I just did. So you are unable to create a draft unless you have a cover photo. I'm just going to center these here. Again, this is before I even go down to my studio. And we're going to apply that. And now let's edit this one, this little view. And we'll keep that. So now I have 2 images. Even though I haven't taken photos of my shoes, I can start my draft here. So now I'm going to go back to that Free People listing. And, oh, not that one. That was a different one. I'm going to go to the eBay listing. So, and I'm going to just grab what they're saying, Command C, and I'm going to go back to my listing over here and just put this in my description, Command V. So Madge sneakers in black leather with pony hair detail made by, so I'm going to put this, I'm more of a bullet person, so I like to put my sizes, and mine are a size 6, change that. And mine are not brand new in original box, but mine are great pre-owned condition. So now I'm going to keep their description here. Laceless leather sneakers featuring contrast rubber sole and cool detailing. Again, I'm a bullet person. Luxe sporty silhouette makes for an easy, effortless look. Fit, this style runs true to size. If between sizes, we recommend sizing down. And I don't know if I'm going to keep that in there. I don't like recommending where people should size because I feel like that makes me liable. I don't know. Black leather pony hair. Do you hear Lucky crying in the other room? He probably wants to see someone. So now I can go into categories and do more of a draft, or if I'm just trying to plow through these, I can just save this. But since we're here, I'll do it. So we're going to go to shoes, and then I'm going to go to sneakers. I think they are size 6, but I'll have to double check that. No to the original tags. Okay, so the brand here is M4D3. That's the technical term, which I didn't know until I started researching. Original price. So if you don't know the original price, you can guess. eBay has them listed for 110. If you go back to the Free People site, it doesn't say what their original price is. Now, I don't know if Google would have information on the original pricing. This is Pinterest right here. Looks like April 2019 that was posted. This might be that same Free People slip-on. So these people sold them for just $20. So this is basically a comp because it's showing on Poshmark they sold for $20. Are these the same ones? Yeah, those sold for $20. So there are a couple sites. Let's see. These are worn Free People Maj Fashion. So they're marking these for $20. So it's not looking great on the comps for these. I think, I don't know. I'm going to list these. My cost of goods is $4. So this is where you make your judgment call. Do I want to list high? Do I want to list low? I'm going to say that the original price was $100. I'm guessing you could just put zero. And I'm going to list these at $40. Now, I may go back and adjust that when I do a little bit more research. Additional details. This is where I put all my information now. And I guess this is why my spreadsheet long term isn't super important, because I put all my details here. So I go over here, show details, cost price, $4, other info, and I'm going to say the name of the store that I got these at. You're going to learn about me in a couple days that I do not have a number inventory system, but this is where you would put that if you so choose. So if this is in bin 4X or whatever, I would put that right here. So I leave that blank. I'll show you my hodgepodge inventory system and you will be sorely disappointed, but it is what it is. So we're going to go. So here's an interesting thing too. When you're doing drafts, if you're new to doing drafts for Poshmark, what would make sense is to press next. And that is what you press when you're ready to do a listing. You actually press cancel, which is very counterintuitive after you've done all that work. But then it says save as draft. Do you want to save this listing as a draft? And now I save it as a draft. And now it's saved. Now when I go into sell, that will show up right here as my $40 listing, so that when I go downstairs to take photographs, I already have all that information already saved as a draft. That gets me a little sidetracked. Usually I'll just try to stay focused and get everything listed in my spreadsheet. And then I will start creating drafts. Before I start taking photographs, I will create some of my drafts. And in creating drafts, the fourth step is that I'm going to take a closer look at comps. So just for the heck of it, I want to go in here just to further do some research and look at comps. You can also see how this can be a huge time sucker. I just purchased 41 items. So I could spend all day researching. It's part of the job that I like. You need to decide for yourself how much time you really want to spend doing this. But it is worthwhile. And, you know, it does help you with pricing. I'm going to look over here and I'm going to do the M4D3 leather sneakers. Do that. You hear my puppy, he's not doing well. Okay, so see, they are here. So people have them listed. Free people, $50, $60, $38, $79. Let's go to solds. 66, 50, 11, 22. Those are mine or mine-ish. 17, 10. These comps are all over the place. I think I'm going to stick with my $40 listing. Well, these sold for $39. I could go as high as 50. And you know, if you price it at 50, it will hit 2 search categories when people are searching by price. But I think I'm going to stick with my $40. And that is how I do my research. I'll show you how I take the pictures next, but hopefully this was helpful. And then I keep doing this. So maybe I'll do one more for you and I'll do it faster. Let's take this time to look at those Tory Burch wedges that I paid up for, see if it was worth it. For full disclosure, once I hit $100 interval at this store, I get $10 off. So every $50, I get $5 off. So this kind of helped me get me over the $100. So it's really 10% less than that. So they were really like $18, but let's just see. Tory Burch leather wedge sandals. I don't know what the style name is for those. Mine does not have this big logo, but these are $248 new. That's interesting to know. I think mine were more this style. No, I don't think so. No, they still weren't that big. This must be the newer version of what I'm selling. So let's look quickly at images. And this is more like a combination of like research and looking at comps. And that's why I said there was an overlap. This just is what happens. Are these mine? Why do I have like a short-term memory? Tory Burch leather wedge sandals. Let's see what pops up here. I bet there's going to be a lot. So these are all espadrilles, and I have the sole that looks more like this. They're listed at $120 here. I could make this search even more concise by saying like brown leather or tan, because these are very different than what I'm selling. Let me just look at solds and see. I found Tory Burch can go for a lot and it can go for a little. So let's just hope mine do okay. Not seeing mine yet. Are these the wedges? These look similar to my look. Not the greatest like clear pictures. Mine are a little bit different, but those sold for $30. That would not be good for an $18 purchase. These sold for $135. That makes me happy. Let's look at these. This is better, much better. And I'm not sure that they have a particular style name. I'm not seeing like a particular name jump out. But this is what I would do. I would like search all these. And even if I'm looking outside of the ones that I bought, like these are 90, 70, 59, $12, but those are not Tory Burch. Okay, these are similar to mine, but they're in black and those sold for 112. So I would definitely search Pebble Leather. That's what I should do, Pebble. Sorry. Pebble Leather Wedge Sandals. That's better. Now let's look at the comps on these because that's more descriptive. These are similar to mine. They sold for 80. Similar, but those are patent leather. They sold for 50. 99.65. This is a better, mine don't have the gold, but those sold for 55. 99. So mine, oh, maybe they're called the patty wedge. Maybe that's what mine are called, the patty wedge. So now let's look up here. Get rid of pebble and do patty. Am I spelling that right? Okay, so see, this is how I like kind of make progress when I don't know. So this must be what I have as the patty wedge. I think this is very helpful to see. Now, there are far less when I search it this way, but those would be keywords that would be helpful to get in there. Let's look at solds and wrap this up. I said this was going to be faster. I lied. 79, 50, 75, 112. That is a sad comp for $12. I'm leaning towards about 75 or 80. What do you guys think for a listing price on that? Let's start 75. I'm going to do 75 and see how we do. I'm going to see what are other resellers listing the item for and what have other resellers sold the item for. So those are two key things that I look at. It's really interesting to look and see what people are listing things at. But even if there are 25 people listing a dress at $75, that doesn't mean much until you look at what they actually sold it for. So what other sellers have actually sold that piece for. If all of your comps are coming in over 50% less than where people are pricing it, then you may want to adjust where you want to price it. I tend to price my things a little bit higher because I'm very generous with sending out offers. I definitely look at where the numbers are falling and I usually aim towards the middle or higher ground because I know that I'm going to send out offers. My philosophy is that no matter where I price an item, people are still going to send lowball offers. For example, if I have a sweatshirt and I think that it's going to sell for $20, so I price it at $23, $24, I'm still going to get offers at like $15, $10, and I don't want it to sell for that low. So instead, I will price that at $30 or $32 in hopes that, you know, if I do get that lower offer at about $20, I can accept it. I've tested this out. Even when I price things pretty low, people still come in with lower offers. So, and I don't get offended. I definitely don't get offended by 90% of the offers I get. People are testing the waters. I'm a bargain hunter. I don't send out a lot of full price offers. So it's all business. Whatever I get as my offer, I deal with it and move on. We'll talk about offers in another video. But this is a time to check out those comps as I'm entering stuff in the computer or shortly after. In the last step, step number 5 in the intake process for me is examining all of my clothes and figuring out what pile they're going to go into, because I have a lot of piles going on when I do intake. I will have new with tag items and those can't be washed. Even if they're coming from the bins or a thrift store, those will go directly to be steamed. If it's something that needs to be washed, it will be in the wash pile, lights and darks. And then, you know, if it's something like wool or something that needs to be dry cleaned, or so I divide all the clothes and further than just whether I'm washing it or steaming it. Some of the items I buy are going directly to ThredUp, or they're going directly to the RealReal. But in some cases, I have to wash them or steam them first before they go. But they will initially go into a pile like I'm not selling them, because then it gets it off my plate. It's not technically in my death pile if I don't get it listed. I have a box at all times and ready for inventory to be sent out. So I have a RealReal box going at all times, and I have a ThredUp bag going at all times. And then when I'm ready to ship those out, I ship them out. So those are my piles. And in some cases, you will get stuff home and you'll notice a really bad stain or a really huge tear, in which case that may go into a donation pile. And then I bring all my piles to where they need to go, and that part of my process is done. And my next step is to get ready to take photographs. Here is a very common look for my office after a haul video. This is where I sit. I have my laptop open usually, and I have my shoes right here. Lulu got into something in the trash. Bags of shoes here. So this is the time where I have to decide where does everything go before it gets photographed. What needs to be steamed, what needs to be washed, what needs to be stain treated. I go through this and I make my choices. And then from here, things will be brought downstairs and hung on hangers in preparation for being photographed. So that is this step. Next, if I don't haul the stuff, which I really do haul videos on 90% of my items, so I will go ahead and start sorting these now. I just want to give a shout out to my sponsor for today's video. Today's video is being sponsored by Skillshare, which is the largest online learning community in the world. You get to choose from over 100,000 online video courses with new editions being published every month. So I've largely taught myself how to use iMovie, but I purchased Final Cut Pro last year and I have never used it. So that is one of the goals of mine with Skillshare, is to take a course on Final Cut Pro. And right now I am taking Joe Perry's Final Cut Pro for Beginners course. And what's nice about the way that they break down courses is you can kind of jump to different sections. Like, for example, there are chapters almost just like a book. So he has all different chapters that you can go to if you want to focus on certain aspects of the course. So you can make it as long or as short as you want. They have a lot of creative courses that you can take. It's a phenomenal platform. I could seriously hang out on this website all day long. I was laughing out loud watching this comedy filmmaking class with Amber. She is so hysterical. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. And everyone, don't forget to click the link in the description to get 2 free months of premium membership and start exploring this great platform today. Now let's wrap up this video. Intake is also the messiest step of my process. If you were to see my desk, I have clothes and hangers on the counter. I have empty thrift store bags on the floor. I have all my different piles going and getting ready, things ready to go to the next step. I have a trash bag full of old tags. I have notebooks out. I have my laptop out since I just entered everything in my spreadsheet, but it really works for me. And then the thing that's different for me is that after everything is entered in my spreadsheet and all these steps are done, I actually print out individual spreadsheets. I put that individual sheet on a clipboard and I bring that sheet with me downstairs and I write my measurements out by hand. Now, there are going to be a lot of people that say, why don't you just bring your laptop downstairs, Lori? It's just not how I function. I'm taking baby steps as it is. I went from writing things down in a notebook to entering most of the information on a spreadsheet, but I bring my sheet downstairs, and as I do my listings, I will cross things off. So that's the functionality of my spreadsheets. And once I cross them off, they're in the system because they're listed on Poshmark. I have my cost of goods included in each listing. And so all of that information is there. And actually, once I am done with the sheet and all the items are crossed off and I've actually listed all those things, I throw that individual spreadsheet in the trash, but it remains on my computer. The information remains on my computer. Alrighty, let's just quickly go over my 5 steps for my intake process. Number 1 is to remove the tags from the items when I get home and start to examine the pieces, look for flaws. Number 2, enter the items into my spreadsheet. Number 3, while I'm entering the items, in some cases I start to create drafts. Number 4 is look at comps, see what things are selling for, see what things are priced at. Do lots of research. And number 5 is sort the items to prep them for pictures. That's how I do it. I hope you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if you have some interesting systems in place that work for you. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you're enjoying this series, what your favorite step has been so far. I have 2 more videos to come out. So my next video in the series, number 4, is going to be all about photographing. And I'm going to give you all my techniques in photographing. And I'm also going to talk about creating my actual listings to be posted. And then the final video is going to be what I do when the item sells and getting things shipped and packaged and out the door. So thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I'm really having fun with it and I hope you are too. So I will see you back really soon. Let me know your thoughts and I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support and I will talk to you soon. Bye everyone.